Well, hello everyone to the grand final of the Gold Cup DotaTalk League. This is the qualifiers pretty much for the DotaTalk League in general. We have the 4 best teams that get to play in the main tournament, which has 12 invited teams such as Orange, such as Zenith, such as well ABC, who won the last GEST tournament. And well, it's gonna be the best of 3 here. Rising Star versus 3 Kingdoms. So, Rising Star, they just won against Chain Stacks. 3 Kingdoms, a team that is not well known and that actually took down Invasion, so this is no small feat. And remember, this is gonna be a best of 3, so it's actually harder to just take one sneaky game off a team. That is actually what could have happened for Invasion. You know, if you just get well, if you just get caught up by surprise by a lineup you're not you know, really used to, that might actually work against you. So this is not going to be the case here. It's a best of 3 Rising Stars. They have the second pick. They ban up the Keeper of Light and the Batrider because 3 Kingdoms actually banning the Nyx Assassin themselves. So that means they were not looking to pick that Nyx Assassin if he went through the banning phase. And Darkseer Rubik's going to be the answer for that Magnus pick. Of course, as much as Rubik just to seal the RP and Darkseer to deny the Darkseer for 3 Kingdoms, you don't want the enemy to get a Darkseer and a Magnus together because Vacuum into the RP just catches everyone, and that's just not going to cut it. So, 3 Kingdoms. We have King of Fighter, Brainless, Markle, Shunning, and another guy who doesn't have any name. Rising Star, we have Super, In July, Air, Xiaotuji, and XDD. Super is, of course, not Super from DK. Don't actually confuse those 2 players. And we see TA picked up with the Shadow Demon, so that's kind of surprising. Usually, you don't see TA if the enemy pick up the Darkseer, because that's a lot of confidence that 3 Kingdoms is showing. Lifestealer is going to be the pick here for Rising Star. And Rising Star is actually a very good Chinese team that, although not that well known compared to maybe other teams like eHome, like Tongfu, like DK and everything, it's still a team that have shown to be very powerful. They have been qualified into the GST tournament last month, and they also right now are qualified for the DotaTalk League, which has a prize pool of, I think, approximately $1,000 of gear and equipment given away by SteelSeries, so it's not going to be cash money. And there's also the items, Dota 2 items on the line. So the DotaTalk League, which was named Litany League weeks ago, is about practice and fun in the Southeast Asia scene. It's the price for entering is one rare item for, I think, by team or by player, I don't remember. So they're just pulling up a lot of rare items and then they're distributing to the winners. So it's really about having fun. And then there's also extra gear coming in for the main tournament. So now we see Luna and PL getting banned for Rising Stars. They have seen the Shadow Demon and they want to avoid having giving TK away good carry heroes now that Magnus and TA have been picked up, so that means they still need 1 support and 1 carry. Gyrocopter is going to get banned as well, so that's pretty strange because usually we don't see Southeast Asian team going for the Gyrocopter, and certainly not Chinese team as well. So West is going to be the pick here again. And I'm really surprised about this because, I mean, we saw last game how a Wisp pick could actually screw up your lane very badly, as if you go against an aggressive tri-lane with a Rubik Lifestealer and you have something like Shadow Demon Wisp +1, it's not going to work out that well. We'll have to see if this game is going to be the same problem, or if 3 Kingdoms actually manage to get something done rather well. 3 Kingdoms, if I understood well, they are coming from Malaysia, and Rising Star from China. So let's see who is going to be able to come out on top. Sen King is going to get picked here. Sen King, a hero that is very much favored by ABC and by Orange. as well as now I have been casting with Ninja Boogie last time from Neolution International, and he was saying after playing against Orange and ABC and playing against the Sen King again and again, they're just finding again the power of Sen King, and they started to draft Sen King a lot more as well. So are we gonna see a Sen King come back into the metagame? Right now, Sen King, he is played quite a lot. It's not that much, but he still played quite a lot. It's not one of those forgotten heroes. Three Kingdoms, they're gonna pick this Naga-Siren. So this looks like I don't really know. It's Naga-Siren is not like the best tri-laner in game. She's very good against Lifestealer due to the net going through the rage. So she can still use the net on the Lifestealer even if he tries to rage away or rage in. But we'll have to see how that works, because Naga-Siren, you always have to remember there's the possibility of Naga-Siren just using the sleep and then Wisp TPing in with Magnus, for example, to just set up a perfect RP. So anytime the enemy will be out of position, Naga-Siren will be able to punish them with a sleep, and Magnus will be having all the time in the world to just come in and pop the RP as soon as the Naga-Siren sleep ends. Plus Lifestealer, it doesn't really matter because the rage doesn't do anything against RP. Well, you actually dodge the damage, but you still get stunned for 3 seconds. And the rage only lasting 6 seconds at max level, it's wasting a lot of time with the rage. Lifestealer is a hero that really wants to get the kills fast, and if you don't manage to find a kill in the 6-second rage, you pretty much lose a lot of efficiency. That's the point of Lifestealer, is getting a kill first in the 6 second of rage, and then being able to still deal sustained damage to all the others. But it's just very hard once the rage is down, because you're just gonna get kited around, and Weaver is going to be our last pick here, which is fairly strange, I must say. Naga-Siren fairly good against that Weaver, because if she wants to just Tsukuchi away, a net is gonna pin her down, and Weaver, if the net actually hit the Weaver, if she goes invisible, will still be visible. So we in July on the Darkseer, Super on the Rubik, Xiaotuji on the Lifestealer, XDD on the Sen King, and Air on the Weaver, which is fairly strange. I mean, in July he was playing the Lifestealer last game, so Xiaotuji was playing the offlaner Lone Druid. I'm kinda surprised. So King of Fighter on the Three Kingdom side, on the Naga-Siren, Shening on the Wisp, Marco on the Shadow Demon, Brainless on the... Okay, so we have the disconnection already. So Brainless is gonna be on the TA, and that leaves our dear DDZ onto the Magnus, which just disconnected. So on the other side, what do we have? We have Super on the Rubik, Air on that Weaver. We already went out to the hero, and hi to the girl beside you. So again, a pose. That's actually quite common in the Southeast Asian League, is computers being made out of wood and everything, and internet being quite unstable. Pose are to be expected. So Air, I think Air was actually the solo mid hero, the solo mid player last game. So we might see a solo mid Weaver. Yeah, it looks like a solo mid Weaver with Xiaotuji, Sen King plus Super on the lane, and In July on the off lane. Or it might be Xiaotuji solo top lane against the Magnus. We saw that this actually works quite well for the Lifestealer. He doesn't really feel too much pressured. He can just withstand the harassment with the Feast, leeching up HP. And if Magnus is not careful, well, Lifestealer can still deal a lot of damage, so... I guess they might be doing what they did last game. That means just putting Xiaotuji in the safe lane solo, and then just going a tri-lane within July, XDD, and Super. This is something we used to see a lot on LGD International. Instead of tri-laning with their main carry player, Paikat, instead what they do is they just tri-lane with their offlaner, Brax. So we saw a lot of offensive tri-lane coming from LGD International with Darkseer +2, which was fairly new at the time they actually did that. It was during the GST challenge, so I think it was December or November 2012. So I'm pretty surprised to see how the mid Weaver will go. Should be pretty okay. I mean, there's a TA against him, but Weaver is very annoying because he has so much damage, damage sources. The Sakuchi is gonna take away 1 charge of refraction. The Geminate attack is gonna take down 2, and 1 more right click is gonna take down 1 more, so it's a total of 4. So basically, right click on the TA, Sakuchi to dodge her attack, and then throw the Geminate attack, and that's gonna be 4 charges of refraction off. Yeah. Now it looks like it's gonna be defensive tri lane. Super is here as well as XDD on the top lane. They have a smoke, so they may be looking for the middle lane gank. Brainless on the TA is very vulnerable to ganks because, well, she doesn't have any escape mechanism. And I'm not really sure the refraction is just going to save her because there's a lot of damage potential coming from the Weaver in the early game. It looks like it's not going to be Weaver in the early game, or is it? We might also see in July in the middle lane because Darkseer just craps all over TA. Given equal skill for 2 players in the middle lane, if there's a TA versus a Darkseer actually wins the lane. So Shatuji is gonna look for the rune, and DDZ might be trying to skewer him on high ground, but not gonna do that. We see Illusion Rune. Super's gonna pick that up. Waiting as much time as possible. And they planted on 1 observer ward there, 1 there, so they have vision over the over the top lane, so they see if the Magnus makes any aggressive move, and here, so they see anyone who is there, and also the rune spot. Brainless is gonna get his first creep wave pretty much denied, and I'm not really sure what he's doing right now. He level 1 meld for some reason. That's kind of strange, I would say, and there's a sentry ward now, so meld is not going to help you a lot. Air in the middle lane, still farming up. We see that the 3 last hits, 3 denies, and compared to Brainless, who's at 0-0, top lane is pretty much the same story because, well, what can you really do as a Magnus against what's coming your way here? In the meantime, in July, he decides to go just for the jungle. He knows that he cannot do much on the bottom lane, so instead of wasting his time, he's gonna go in the jungle. And that means the experience in the goal graph will widen between Magnus and the Darkseer, because Darkseer is still getting some amount of farm. Even if it's not very fast, even if it's not very good, he's still getting something. Whereas Magnus, getting all his creep denies, getting some experience, but not that much. 8 for 5 and 5 for 0. TA does have the bottle now, though.
For the temple.
And TA, remember that although in the early game she might get a bit denied and a bit bullied around, once she gets to level 5, level 6, she has the power to just kill anyone in the middle lane if he's not careful. So Weaver, he decides to take 1 point into the swarm. That's gonna just take away the TA's armor as well as take away her refraction charges. It's very, very annoying because as long as you don't decide to focus down that little Weaver, that little swarm, you will take damage. And you will take armor damage as well. So XDD is just sharing the huge creep wave with Nex. Pretty strange there. Senking is a support that really needs a lot of... so again, disconnection happening in the middle lane. That might be a kill for Weaver. Yeah, 1 second cooldown, 1 second cooldown, 1 second cooldown. He has haste as well. He's going to be able to tower dive and kill the TA. TA has nothing to escape. There's a sentry ward here. He can't meld away. He doesn't have the mana to use refraction charges. This is going to be a very dead TA. And the bottle is not here. He was using the crow to bottle crow. Or, not really the crow anymore, the donkey. So, what do we have on the bottom lane? Nagasarin's just farming her ass off, which is pretty much normal due to the fact that there's no one here. Marco's level 2, almost 3. Wisp is level 3. Super is only level 1, and Sand King is only level 2. So, the supports are getting more level on the Radiant side, but the mid lane is about to give out first blood, and the Magnus as well doesn't get so much right here. He's at level 1 only, and in July he's level 3, so offlaners, they're getting the upper hand for Rising Stars. Supports, it's still Three Kingdoms leading the way. So what do we have here? The Smoke Gang is still not used, and the Wisp and Shadow Demon actually show themselves on the lane. So it's not all about, you know, just showing yourself on the lane and, you know, trying to get kills. But if Wisp and Shadow Demon were missing from that lane and on the minimap, maybe the Dire would be a bit more careful about diving here, which looks like they're about to do. Super comes from behind, and he has a telekinesis ready. So if DDZ doesn't smell the danger, and if he doesn't back up right now, he's gonna die. There's a huge creep wave coming his way, so they will be able to tower dive him. There's no problem about that. There's no doubt about that either. There's a lot of you know, stun potential, and Weaver just crushing in the middle lane right now. Oh, not really crushing. 11 for 5, 11 for 1. So creep wave is still pretty much even, but after that kill, it's not gonna be that case anymore. Darkseer, pretty sure he'll go try to get the Soul Ring. Usually that's what Darkseer do in the jungle. He gets the Soul Ring and then he goes back on the bottom lane here, so he can start laying down those Iron Shell to annoy the Nagasarin to no end. Every melee hero just hates when that happens. They just can't farm safely because they are forced to take damage. If you want the last hit, you'll have to take damage. And if you take damage, well, you're more vulnerable to ganks later on because you will not be full health. Lifestealer is level 4. Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention, is I said the supports were way more level in the Three Kingdom sides. They are level almost 3 here and 3 on the Wisp, but the Nagasarin's not level 3 yet, whereas on the top lane, Lifestealer is already level 4, so that's where the experience is going. They are not sharing as much for the supports, whereas on the bottom lane, they are standing on the lane and leeching the experience away from Nagasarin. I sure hope Three Kingdom is going to reconnect soon, because that's actually taking a lot of time already, and it's a best of 3. So I was discussing with Risk earlier as well, after they got defeated by Rising Stars, and his opinion on right now the game is Rising Star is going to crap all over Three Kingdoms. That's his opinion. Now, it may not be what's going to happen. So the thing is, he says that Rising Star right now is just one of the competitive Chinese teams, so he feels like the level difference is just too high. He feels like the teams that actually compete, Rising Stars may be the best team right now in this tournament, in the Gold Cup. So that may be the case. I mean, Rising Star, they just showed that they were very, very powerful players, and they even in the GST tournament of February, they gave Orange a lot of trouble in the early game. Well, Orange actually came back.
Carry on.
But, well, Brainless,
No
goodbye. Sentry Ward, not gonna be able to do anything about that. And now DDZ is gonna get dove upon. We see that the Magnus is going to skewer his way out.
Taking hits.
But he's gonna get... yeah, he's kind of stuck there. Here comes the telekinesis. DDZ is kind of stuck there between two trees.
The Dire best do something about that bottom
And one more right click. DDZ still surviving there. He has the... Oh, he has a skewer in 5 seconds. Nah, it's not gonna be enough time. But nicely done. Still just wasting a lot of time for that tri lane.
Guess what's happening to Dire?
Markel taking so much damage from the tower, just forcing the disruption on himself. And Air decided to go for a Urn of Shadow. That's actually very interesting. So Weaver's gonna get some more HP this way. And also, if he looks to be aggressive in gank, he will get a lot of charges. So it's one more way to just bring down your enemy's HP, you know, little by little. And here comes Super coming from behind. Brainless, trying to escape, will be able to as well. Invisibility rune on the top lane.
Best do something about that bottom
Super,
tower.
he has this telekinesis but didn't use it.
Guess what's happening to
And Air, does he want to do something? We see Magnus in the middle lane, so has to be careful. If he tries to dive, he may be very well skewered into the tower range. Brainless taking a lot of damage though. Not gonna be all that happy. Oh, Air also taking a lot of damage. That that Mail Strike really hurting him a lot. So Super is just gonna go on the bottom lane now. He sees that Shaltuji is alone on that lane and XDD is already taking care of the pool, so he doesn't need to be there. He's gonna go on the bottom lane and maybe even try to get a kill. Will they be able to? Rubik's on level 2, so this is very little damage that he can do. Wisp level 4, Naga Siren level 3, taking some damage as well from the Iron Shell. And Air in this middle lane is gonna use a Swarm but not hit on the Templar Assassin. If that had been a hit, he might have considered going in. He is not though this time. He's gonna back off to the base. Heal up and get his Wraith Band. So middle lane, Super is just gonna go in instead. Try to get some levels. TA is level 6, so she has the traps. On top lane, Leicester is just going 1v1 on the Magnus. Forcing the Magnus away. Has the phase boost as well, so Magnus has to be careful. He's gonna get slowed down, and the Skewer is gonna come in, but is that gonna be too late? Xiaotuji still on the chase, chasing very far, and not showing any sign of slowing down. Not gonna use that, oh! He's gonna use the Infest, but a bit too late. Who is coming here? It's the Shadow Demon. So yeah, Leicester is just gonna TP back to the top lane. I think he was a bit too greedy there. He could have used the Infest a bit earlier, but it looks like he didn't want to use it. Air gonna get disrupted here, but not really. No, not even gonna get disrupted. He doesn't really mind if the Shadow Demon does anything to him because Shadow Demon can't lock a Weaver down. They really need the Wisp Tether, or the RP, or the net. Otherwise, this is not gonna work. So traps getting laid down by the TA. We see a trap here on the top lane, making sure that you see the rune that's spawning.
Clearly not.
And you see that right now, TA is leading the way now in terms of last hits. Because, well, although Weaver can deal a lot of damage, TA has the upper right click damage. So that means the denies the last hits. If TA plays carefully, she will still get them. Plus her animation is faster as well. They want to go. Nope. Super is going to get spotted. They see that they can't do anything about it. See Sentry Ward planted down. And Psionic Trap is going to get torn away, but not really going to do so much. Super is wasting a bit of time there. And Air, he's maxing up the Sakuchi, so more mobility for him. More damage as well. Top lane, DDZ is hitting in this little corner, in this little nuke. I think they know that. They just pinged him. So Tia gets a regen rune, but no, they're not gonna go on it.
Have fun trying to bust down Radiant structures now.
Magnus getting his level 3 now.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
And Leicester is just gonna take the creep wave away from the tower so that the siege creep is able to tank as much as possible.
Radiant's top
deal as much damage as possible. Might be even to bring down. Yeah, they are able to bring down the tower. Creep wave is gonna come in. This 3G tower aggro. Tower falls down.
The radiant
TP on the bottom lane. They actually netted the darts here, but that's actually not going well. Now Shadow Demon's on the run. King of Fighters on the run. She's not level 6 yet, and she will fall. Now we see the next also TP'd in, and he is going straight on onto Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon gets absolutely eaten alive. Weaver is on the chase as well. And Wisp, that actually the Spirit is giving away his position. Not really sure he's going to survive. He is going to get chased down by the Weaver, and yeah, Weaver is just going to take that kill. Easy peasy. Chenning, almost escaping with that tether, but tether doesn't destroy projectile, so Weaver will be able to get that kill. And he's now going to head back to the middle lane. 0-4-5. Rising Star just taking the kills, and Weaver still has a little train of creeps behind him. Creeps who are at last going to give up and go back to their regular pattern. Sand King also denies a tower, so that's 800 gold down the drain for the Radiant. I say that because denying a tower means that your enemy team only have 500 gold in total, whereas last hitting a tower or letting the creep last hit it is approximately 1,300 gold for a tier 1 tower. Haste Rune is on the top lane, and it's going to be Air going to pick that up. He's going to go straight for what seems to be a Yasha, so Lysier is still farming up. He's going to go on Magnus. Nope. Going to decide against it. Middle lane Air is still very annoying the TA. TA still managed to fight the farm though, so not really sure what she decides to go for afterwards. Is she gonna go for the good old Blink Dagger style? Oh, they want to chase down the Weaver, but that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Nagasarin has the Arcane Boots, but now heading for the middle lane. Air doesn't have enough mana for the time lapse. Has to be careful. Nagasarin looking for a net here, but not gonna be able to get it. Magnus is here as well. Everyone's here. Magnus is not level 6, so he doesn't have the RP. And they want this mid lane tower, but are they going to be able to take it? The Iron Shell was popped, but only on an illusion. And they have the glyph, so if they want it, they will be able to glyph. They actually use it right now. I think it's a bit of a mistake. Maybe miscommunication. Air's just scouting around. Scuttering in, as he would say. He's going to go on the Shadow Demon, who's taking extreme amount of damage. Might even go down there. Oh, stun goes down on Air, but there's not enough lockdown. He's just gonna well, never mind. Looks like I was mistaken. There's not enough lockdown, but there's enough damage. And they're going to chase. You see the drum actually popped up by the Lyster. They are gonna go onto the Wisp. They actually blew everything on the Wisp. And now they're going to turn around, try to get King of Fighter. We see the Skewer actually going to catch up too. Sand King is in a lot of trouble. Sand King is going to go down to the Shadow Poison. And that is actually very well played by TK and very badly played by Rising Star.
Radiant's top towers.
That Wisp was going to go down anyway. Everything was used on him, and there was no disable when the rest of the enemy team actually came in. And that is a Magnus that actually didn't even use RP. If there was an RP here, it would have been even harder on this Radiant, on this Rising Star lineup. So TA finds an Myzzrym, and she has the Blink Dagger almost up. What do we have on this Nagasarin? Still pretty much nothing. What's on the courier? It's gonna be a health ring. So that might be the good old Nagasarin, Lincoln Sphere, blah blah blah, but might also be a Vanguard. We see that sometimes when Nagasarin really needs to tank up and wants to be there to absorb the damage and use her ultimate. Sometimes the Nagasarin will go for a Vanguard. Chinese teams sometimes even take that to the extreme, and instead of rushing up a Vanguard, they rush up a Heart. So the Nagasarin looks like a, I think it's like Tranquil Boots into Heart. Deals like 0 damage, literally 0 damage, but tanks up so much. Oh, Magnus is here. Weaver will have to be careful. And here she doesn't go for a Blink Dagger, she goes for what seems to be a Shadow Blade. Claymore is but, so I guess it's not gonna be a Battle Fury, so so that's gonna be a Shadow Blade. Interesting. Xiaotuji, in the meantime, he's farming though, and he is not joking about farming. He has the Phase Boots, the Drum of Endurance, and the Armlet is coming very, very soon.
Such mimicry.
Rubik, Smoke of Deceit might be used anytime soon. Darkseer trying to get his mechanism, and he's gonna get it also very soon. Sand King is gonna try to farm out the middle lane. He wants his Arcane Boots, and he wants his Blink Dagger. Magnus is also looking for his Blink Dagger, 500 gold. Weaver decided to go for a... no, it was a power trade, so there was not a straight Yasha build. Just a power trade, Ring of Aquila. So Weaver really goes for the early game efficient items. Ring of Aquila giving a lot of stats, armor and everything. Power trades for the increase in attack speed, increase in attribute as well as some more move speed, and the Urn of Shadow to just give him the ability to just stand and fight and then go away, heal himself, go back in the fight, really be pesky. Are we gonna see another item such as, for example, a Medallion Courage coming from the Weaver? I'm not really sure, because right now he's just full. His item slots are full. He needs Dust of Appearance to catch up that Temper Assassin. He needs a TP scroll because you always want a TP scroll. But otherwise, oh Magnus, oh Magnus. Air is gonna be screaming in glee when he sees that Magnus because everyone's coming behind. And Magnus is not gonna be able to get away from that. Here comes the telekinesis and here comes the stun. Magnus goes down. That was a very clean kill. And now they're just gonna transition into a tower. So TA gets a Shadow Blade, which is not a very standard build, but Darkseer with the next infested, looking for a kill. Mechanism up, Tranquil Boots up. Rubik, level 6, he has the ultimate. Has the steal. Air. Might be looking for some kills. We see 2 teleporting on the top lane. XDD has the Arcane Boots now. Super is still quite far away from it. And in July, he wants to catch the TA. Does he have any... Oh, he has no detection. Air has detection, but TA is not gonna show herself. Here comes the Wisp with the Nagasar in July. Not really sure why Nex actually TP'd out because they won't be able to just catch him. Air, what are you doing, Air? He's good. Oh, he's caught. There's 3 people converging on his position, but that's a Weaver we are talking about. Try to take down a Weaver. It's not an easy task. And Wisp actually dies to the Weaver. So Wisp, I'm not really sure. It should have been the little, the swarm actually picking away his HP while Sand King used a Burst Strike into Epicenter. Nagasaren survived though. She got the Vanguard now, so she will be a bit harder to bring down, especially Weaver, who deals a lot of small damage instances. Unlike, for example, TA, which deals like 180 damage per swing. Oh, here comes the Blink. Here comes the Burst Strike. Here comes the Skewer. Not gonna be able to catch anyone though. And in July is gonna get netted. He takes a lot of damage as well. He is gonna be able to get away. And here comes the Disruption onto Super. Super will be able to escape that one. Xiaotuji very low on health. Has to be careful. Here comes another Burst Strike. Oh, nicely done by XDD. Dodging that net by a few millimeters. But still gonna go down in the end. As his allies were not here. Air was on the bottom lane. Xiaotuji was back in the jungle to just heal up with the Infest. And here comes a TP. Buyback by the Sand King. Burst Strike not gonna be here in time. It was in fact the Weaver coming Weaver is gonna come down here, and now he's gonna catch up with that DD rune. There's no way he's gonna survive. Nagasari now is still fighting, but that's not the good choice. She doesn't have to sleep. TP coming in. I'm not really sure you want to do that, Brainless. You are 1v5 and you go down. That is the end of the TA, who also bought back, I think. No, only buyback was from Sanking, and
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
this is not looking good. Rising Star taking a decisive team fight, and they're gonna be able to punish 3 kingdoms by taking down a tier 2 tower as well as tier 1 tower.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Shatuji tanking up the damage here, doesn't really mind.
Radiant's mid tower's
Magnus is waiting on the high ground, but
Dire's top
oh,
tower.
oh.
You know
No.
the drill.
Thankfully, Magnus doesn't have the vision there, or it could have been a very, very easy kill for him. And Air farming the enemy jungle, not giving them any space to breathe. They will not be able to farm that much. You see, oh, actually a stack camp, so he's gonna stack it again. See, this is the real Nagasari in fact. And yeah, Air actually sees that the illusions are used to scout out in the jungle as well as try to farm, but the Rising Star guys are just gonna say thank you and take the farm. Weaver even leaving one satyr here so that the camp doesn't respawn. Being a bit pesky here. Has 3.8k gold as well, so if he wants a Radiance build, he could go for it. Weaver in the old age of Dota 1, the build was just to rush up a Radiance, so he could be just very annoying by just staying around, Sukuchi in, dealing some damage, then having the burn all the time. And they're gonna go on Roshan. In fact, I don't really think the Radiant can do anything about it, or if they can, yeah, Air is gonna go for that Sacred Relic. Shiatuji got a Yasha now. It's gonna be again a Senjin Yasha probably. Going to make him so fast. Right now 425 movement speed even without the phase boot activated. Rubik also got a Medal of Courage, so even less armor on the enemy. And with the Swarm, with the Medal of Courage, it's gonna be very easy to tear down any enemy hero, especially with the next here. The Feast from the next passive skill deals physical damage, so the less armor you have and the more it's gonna be dealing. Super takes down the traps in the middle lane. And I hear the Sand King actually farming the jungle with his Sandstorm. Still pretty far away from his Blink Dagger, 1k gold. But that's a support Sand King, so it's to be expected. In July, 2.5k gold. Might be going for a pipe, or that could be just a casual cloak. There's not that much magical damage in the end. There's the Nagasiren Riptide, there is the Shadow Demon Purge and Shadow Poison, but that's not instant. There's the Spirits from the Wisp, and there's the Magnus combo. So the Magnus combo technically still deal a lot of damage. AR's gonna find this haste rune. And in July, taking the damage. They are pinging to back off. Brainless is gonna come in first. He's gonna see that no one's here. He's gonna say, okay, I guess they are not here. In the meantime, the Dark Side sees everything with that ward. And they're gonna sentry it. They're gonna sentry this, but they don't have the vision of the high ground. Now they have, so they are gonna try to kill that Observer ward. Is Rising Star not gonna do anything about it? It looks like no. They are just gonna wait up. Smoke. Gonna wrap around. Super though is not with them, and Super might be caught. So TK, they are gonna go on Roshan. But little did they know, everyone's coming in. And Magnus, is he sleeping or something? He's gonna skewer even with the sun. He's gonna be able to get out. But here comes the wall, here comes the sleep. Everyone's trying to escape. And Shadow Demon's gonna be the sacrificial lamb, in fact. But Air is coming from behind. Air taking a lot of damage, but Air RP onto 3! Very nicely done. XDD, we see that the mechanism saving everyone, except for that poor Weaver who's already dead. Brainless is gonna... Whoa, he's just so fast right now. Not fast enough though. He's still gonna fall.
Somebody's cooking.
But with the phase boost and the Shadow Blade, almost able to escape there. Almost is not quite. So 3 dead for TK, 1 dead for Rising Star. Weaver, although he has the damage, he has the Ring of Kula, he is not very tanky. And if he gets locked down and has no time to use the time lapse, he's gonna go down.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So now the glyph is gonna get popped, and we see Magnus coming back in. He has the RP, he has the Blink Dagger, not the RP. The tower is just gonna fall though. There's no way they can defend that.
Right now. Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
And it looks like they are just gonna go and head back to... Well, we have a gem on Rubik, so they will be also able to just take down this and this. There goes the first ward, there goes the second ward, and there goes Roshan. They know the enemy don't have any they don't have any RP anymore, and the wall is gonna be soon up. So they also see everyone in the middle lane anyway, so no problem about that. They're gonna be safe, and they're gonna pick that Roshan. Aegis onto the Lysealer. And Weaver on the top lane is about to get ganked, has to be careful. If he goes too deep in, he's gonna get killed. But Shenning, a bit impatient there, wanted to catch up that Weaver. Not gonna be able to. Nagasarin gonna get lifted up into the air. I'm not really sure what he's doing here, because that's a very dead King of Fighter. There was like no one, absolutely no one's protecting her. So very cocky play here, trying to farm up the enemy jungle with the TP scroll and no ultimate. That's the main point. If she had the ultimate, she could have like maybe slept and TP'd away. But right now, there was no ultimate. There was nothing. Weaver's gonna be the one picking up the gem of True Sight now. Has the Radiance completed. Remember though, he's still very squishy, so it's still gonna be very easy to bring her down. Lifestealer has the Armlet. He has the he's soon gonna have the Senjin Yasha. And we have the Blink onto Sand King now. That's gonna be huge, because already Sand King is doing some very good moves, very good burst strikes onto 2 or 3. But now, it's gonna be even easier to do that. Darcyr also has a Mystic Staff, so if he wants to go for the Sheepstick, he's not so far away from it. In fact, he has it in 1.5k gold. If he wants to go for a Shiva, which could also be the case, it's gonna help his allies to just keep the team fight under control with a lot of movement speed reduction, some damage as well. Gonna be able to force the enemy to slowly walk away from the epicenter instead of running away. Shakuji just gonna push up the top lane now with the help of the Sand King and the Darcyr. Tower's taking a lot of damage. See Senjin Yasha completed. How long is there on the rush pit? There is still 4 minutes at least before the Aegis goes down, so there's no problem there. And in fact, the sleep is gonna happen, but they're all spread out. What do they really expect to do here? We see that DZZ is a bit concerned, and here comes a big epicenter! Blink in! Excellent play by Sand King, just waiting way far enough, and coming immediately after not even having the time for an RP. And they go down, 2 already died, 3 will die, 4 will die, 1 buyback was used, RP was blown, and not even catching the Injuly. Injuly is in a little bit of trouble here, but he is going to be able to survive, or will he? One more skill, no. One more Shockwave takes him down, but that's still a team wipe for 1 kill. Team wipe and a buyback as well. That's the big problem here. Tower is gonna fall now, and GG is gonna get called. So we're gonna jump into game number 2. Shenning says that this is over, doesn't want to go and waste some more time. They're just gonna disconnect. So we are going to jump into game number 2. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching. This was DotaTalk Myzzrym. If you like You can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Facebook to support me. And otherwise, well, enjoy the cast and enjoy the next game. Well played for both teams.
Somebody's on a roll. Somebody's on a roll.
Well, in fact, it's still not over.
Somebody's cooking.
They're still killing everyone. The only one who disconnected was Magnus. Must be telling his buddy, okay, stop fooling around, guys. We said GG, so
Flying at Radiant's top
yeah, Wes was
brass.
gonna disconnect as well, and that's gonna be it.